Today, we're going to be looking at banking for digital nomads. Now, there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all strategy when it comes to banking for digital nomads. And there's a simple reason for that. Every digital nomad is different. Different citizenship, different source of income, different banking requirements. And since there is enough commonality across the digital nomad community, we can highlight some important hacks, opportunities, and considerations that will make banking for digital nomads easier to navigate and access. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get alerted every time we post new non-resident banking opportunities. To help you get started with banking for digital nomads, we have a free non-resident banking starter guide. It's designed to help non-resident and foreigners open bank accounts, so don't forget to download your copy using the link in the description below. Okay, here's a little 101 banking for digital nomads. When it comes to banking for digital nomads, those just starting out often think that they can access any bank that they want. That is until they actually start applying for accounts. Very quickly, digital nomads realize that opening bank accounts abroad and even at home is not as easy as it should be. If you don't have the right citizenship or mix of residential ties, you don't even have a chance at opening an account. That's why today, most banking for digital nomads is increasingly centered around fintechs, such as EMIs, payment institutions, money transfer services, and prepaid cards. But this approach isn't without challenges. While there are new fintech solutions launched every year, many are restrictive and only accept people with certain nationalities and residencies. And they have very specific criteria that new clients have to meet, but more on that in a little bit. Meanwhile, traditional banks are often overlooked due to increasingly difficult account opening, a reluctance to accept non-residents, lack of remote opening options, and high costs. Of course, there are still plenty of options out there that can overcome these hurdles, but you need to know where to find them and how to apply. For these reasons, the most optimal banking stack for a digital nomad is often a traditional bank in combination with fintech solutions that are international and low cost. So it's no surprise that when banking for digital nomads, most people end up considering banking options with lax requirements or that don't impose certain requirements at all. That usually results in digital banking solutions being chosen. They're easy to open, affordable, sometimes, entirely online, and often tailored solutions for younger, internationally mobile customers. That said, they do have some limitations. And while fintechs do meet initial requirements of banking for digital nomads, in reality, they're best for small transfers and low-level, day-to-day transactional banking. Basically, what we're trying to say, don't keep your life savings in a fintech and don't use them for large transactions. That's way too risky. In addition, most fintechs do not hold banking licenses, are not subject to banking regulations, and don't have deposit insurance. So if a fintech goes bankrupt, there's no safety net and customers can often lose their deposits. Also, small offshore banks and banks in lower quality jurisdictions have challenges as well. For example, many small offshore banks have high fees and charge every single item imaginable, like monthly fee, online banking fee, fee for viewing transaction history, fee for bank statements, fee for reference letters, and fee for account closure, etc., etc. Additionally, some banks located in lower quality jurisdictions are notoriously difficult to reach, have poor customer service, limited English-speaking support, archaic online interfaces, and other limitations which can make it very difficult to access your money or resolve problems. So, needless to say, there are better options out there when banking for digital nomads. In fact, the most optimal and safest solution when banking for digital nomads is combining a traditional bank with fintech solutions. The only problem is finding banks that are digitally nomad friendly and cater to internationally mobile non-residents is getting harder. Due to increasing regulations and new compliance rules, many banks now view non-residents, digital nomads, frequent travelers, and those without tax residency and economic substance as high-risk customers. That leaves us with good banks outside of international banking hubs and digital nomad-friendly banks, both of which are hard to find. But our team regularly helps GlobalBanks insiders uncover such options based on their specific account opening objectives and client profile. Okay, let's take a closer look at navigating the choices when banking for digital nomads. Sure, on the surface it may look like there are a ton of choices, but there really aren't. And many people get stuck, especially if their accounts get blocked, restricted, or terminated. That's why carefully choosing which banks or fintech you open accounts with is critical. It can help you avoid serious headaches later on. That's why carefully choosing which banks or fintech you open accounts with is critical, and it can help you avoid serious headaches later on. Now, to help with account opening choices, our team released a report focused on European EMI and Fintech options for non-EEA residents and non-EEA companies. In it, we break down over 20 EMIs in Europe alone, highlighting lesser known and rarely talked about banking alternatives, new opportunities, specific hacks and loopholes, and exactly how to navigate account opening as a location-independent entrepreneur with limited European connections. EMIs aren't the only option. In fact, a combination of EMIs, fintechs, and banks can offer a much better solution. With this in mind, we recommend reevaluating your entire banking stack. Then, identify the most optimal combination of digital nomad-friendly banking solutions, acquire those relationships, and then pair them together. Here's what this might look like. Find a solution like Revolut, N26, or Neat that caters to your country or region of residency to act as cost-effective ways for you to receive payment. Next, do like every other business and use a solution like TransferWise or IBAN First if you have higher volume businesses, and lock in low-cost outgoing transfers. Finally, pair a traditional account at a high-quality brick-and-mortar bank to hold your deposits, facilitate investments, and provide access to financing and a wider range of banking services. We share exactly how you can do this and a whole lot more in our premium report, Banking for Digital Nomads, the ultimate guide to account opening, which is available to our GlobalBanks insiders. In this report, we share over 20 account opening options, detail the account opening process and the quirks, and provide solutions specific to banking for digital nomads. To access this report and all of our GlobalBanks premium reports, you just need to join GlobalBanks Insider. You'll get immediate access to all premium reports, the banking database, the latest account opening strategies, along with direct support from our team. But more on that at the end of our video. For now, let's take a look at the 3 most important catalysts that will negatively impact and shape banking for digital nomads in the future. So, what are these 3 major changes impacting banking for digital nomads? Well, as we shared in our recent 2021 edition of the Ultimate Guide to International Banking, there are some radically important changes coming that will impact banking for everyone. But these changes will have an outsized impact on banking for digital nomads. In other words, a few of the existing banking difficulties and inconveniences that currently exist for digital nomads will become much more pressing, widespread, and more difficult to overcome in the future. Here's a look at the top 3 changes digital nomads need to watch out for now. Number 1, personal tax residency. Many digital nomads live across several countries throughout the year and don't establish tax residency in any one country. And while this might be totally fine for you personally, it's not that great for banking. Plus, not establishing tax residency anywhere also has unintended tax reporting consequences and complications that most people are totally unaware of. In fact, nowadays, it's becoming increasingly difficult to open a bank account without a tax identification number from your country of residence. Here's a quick example. Let's say a German digital nomad named Robert opens a bank account in Singapore. Robert travels frequently. He's never bothered to formally establish tax residency anywhere. He splits his time between Germany, Indonesia, and Bermuda. So, when the bank asks him to confirm his tax residency, he proudly proclaims, "Well, I don't have tax residency anywhere. I spend time in 3 countries, and here's the bank statement with my address in Indonesia." The result of that? Well, the bank either A, doesn't open an account, or B, sends Bob's information to every country that might claim him as a resident, like Germany, Indonesia, or Bermuda. Now, as many digital nomads have already discovered, establishing tax residency somewhere is a must. With a strategically chosen tax residency, you can lock in low or 0 tax rates, ensure multiple countries don't claim you as a tax resident, access better banking options, and operate more efficiently and more cost-effectively as a digital nomad. Number 2, corporate tax ID and operating location. Regardless of where you're from, chances are you're using a company to facilitate your location-independent business. This might be a US LLC, UK LLP, BVI BC, Estonian OU, Canadian LP, or any number of the other options available. Each of these structures has their pros and cons, but in general, each of them offer good value when it comes to optimizing taxes, creating a legal barrier between the owner and the business, and in some cases, making banking for digital nomads a lot easier. But there is a problem. If you're a digital nomad operating a location-independent business, where is your business located? And where does your business pay tax? This is a problem that many digital nomads and other international entrepreneurs are now facing. and it's not an easy challenge to overcome. As for corporate tax IDs, it has become almost universally required by banks that you provide this bit of data. If you don't, your application is on the fast track to being denied. Number 3, DeRisking by digital platforms. When new digital banks and fintechs launch, they cast a wide net, opening accounts for anyone and everyone. But then they get tough on compliance, get more risk adverse, and start closing accounts. The game plan is pretty much always the same. Bring in as many customers as possible, bulk up on the customer list, and then trim the fat later on. It's like a professional bodybuilder bulking up and then cutting fat before a competition. Very similar to what I do, but without the cutting. Fintechs do this in pursuit of the elusive network effect that transforms businesses into the next unicorn. But when it comes to banking for digital nomads, this can cause serious problems. Fortunately, there are several useful fintech options still available for digital nomads. However, the specific solutions chosen ultimately depend on criteria such as citizenship, residency, phone and address requirements, source of income, transaction activity and volume, desired currencies, and a whole lot more. So, do you want to start banking for digital nomads today? Well, if you want to unlock the best digital nomad banking options, open accounts remotely, or just need help sorting out your banking strategy, we can help. All you have to do is join GlobalBanks Insider. With GlobalBanks Insider, you'll get instant access to our entire archive of banking intelligence reports, access to the GlobalBanks database, home to more than 250 banks from 50 plus countries, including detailed bank profiles, client preferences, and a whole lot more. Finally, you'll also get real-time analyst support from our team of experts, ready to answer your most pressing banking questions and to make suggestions on which banking options are best suited for digital nomads and others. To get started, just click the link in the description below to learn more about GlobalBanks Insider. And before signing off, don't forget to hit subscribe so you get alerted every time we share new banking opportunities. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.